What's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel once again. My name is Dash Lifestyle. Kindly for watching me for the first time, remember to subscribe, like, share and also comment. To my returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming back and watching my video. Thank you so much for the love and support. So guys, in today's video I want us to watch this very powerful speech from the Prime Minister of Barbados, Mottley. Mottley, she has delivered a very powerful speech, and also she was shutting down the West people, telling them that the world cannot continue being their puppet. How these people, they are controlling some of the African countries, some of the black country, it needs to stop. And that's why she has come out and shut down the West, telling them that we are not going to be your puppet anymore. So kindly guys, watch this video till the end, then I'll be back with more comments.
We come to Paris today with a heavy heart, but with hope. We come to Paris today not to reinforce the divisions of the past, the orders of the past, but we come to Paris to identify the common humanity that we share and the absolute moral imperative to save our planet and to make it livable. We don't need a lot more words today. And quite honestly, I don't know that I have it in me to give more words. As I speak to you, my country, that of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and others in the Caribbean, in the Eastern Caribbean, are under a tropical storm watch for Tropical Storm Beth, literally. Yesterday, I had to decide whether to stay or to go. And I chose to stay because it is important that we move to action. Behind Tropical Storm Beth is another system. And hence, this is our new reality. We have heard this morning from Vanessa. We've heard from the economists. We've heard from the president of Niger. And everyone has spoken truth with feeling, with clarity. And Emmanuel, I've left you for last, because privately I call this the How Dare You Summit. How dare you? How dare you upset the order? How dare you step out of your crease and summon us all to this inflection moment that will determine whether we will have the capacity and the will to bring pace and scope to the problem. I can tell you that there has been movement. Yes, 9 months ago, no one was speaking about natural disaster clauses. Now we have people wanting to recognize the wisdom of it, because countries do need to pause debt payments if they are going to house and feed people who are victims of a climate crisis. Doesn't quite work as well for those who have to move people who are suffering from drought, as the president of Malawi has had to do. So we need to perfect it. 9 months ago, no one was talking about multilateral development bank reform at scale. And Ajay, the World Bank was not as forceful in its commitment to the crisis of climate as it is now. And we wish you all the best, because in your hands lies the need for pace and scope. 9 months ago, we were not prepared to discuss issues of debt. And Kristalina, when no one else was stepping up during the pandemic, yes, you led the way. recognizing that your duty was not only to deal with the symptoms of the balance of payments problems, but to go back to the treaty and its underlying objective of securing growth and macro and financial and economic stability. But what is required of us is not simply to mark a card for progress. As we heard from Vanessa, what is required of us now is absolute transformation and not reform of our institutions. And that transformation is required because while the world knew since the 1890s that we were facing the warming of the climate, we chose not to heed the advice of scientists. And that which could have been done in more than a century is now being reduced to be done in less than a decade. And Secretary General, my heart bleeds for you, because yours has been almost that constant voice in the wilderness. But I say to you that it has not been in vain. As you heard from President Macron this morning, there is now the beginning of the understanding that poverty and climate cannot be separated. That education and climate cannot be separated. And later today we will go into the details of what that action must look like, much of which we have put in the Bridgetown Initiative, not because we believe we have the answers alone, but simply because we had the will to pull people together and say, let us discuss these issues and let us make enough noise consistently to command the attention of those who must speak and who must act. I ask us today not to leave Paris without understanding that the bolstering of the political ambition that is required must secure transformation and not reform. And I ask us to ensure that those of us who are heads of government and heads of state recognize that the world cannot continue in the shadow of an old imperial order that does not see countries, does not feel countries, does not hear countries, and worse, does not see, feel, or hear people. I ask us today to recognize that we cannot come to Paris but let our directors go back to the IMF or the World Bank and it be business as usual. They do not act in their own interests. They act on behalf of our sovereign states. And that is why we speak not only to the need for money, we speak to the need for the reform of the governance systems. Because when these institutions were founded, our countries did not exist. And we speak for a complete transformation of securing the sources of capital, as unpopular as it might be to voice it. We do not ask for the bankruptcy of private companies. That's not our wish. But we do ask for everybody to share the burden so that we can share the bounty. And it therefore means that simply relying and holding only governments accountable has run its course. And what is necessary now is for us to bring to the table also multinational corporations whose balance sheets dwarf more than 2/3 of the world's states. That is the world we have created out of the last century. And if we don't recognize that they cannot be left out of the equation, I'm coming. If they don't recognize that they cannot be left out of the equation, then we have no desire to solve the problem. And we thank philanthropy for what they do, but it can't only be what they like. It has to be what the world needs. And I hope that we leave Paris, therefore, not only secure in our determination to protect the planet, to protect the biodiversity, to protect people, but to recognize that if we do not act today at scale, with pace, we will not be able to get there in time to save more people. Let us, as the representatives of our people, at this most unique time in the history of civilization, not only do the right thing, but do it in time and do it for the right reasons. We will have more time in the next day and a half to discuss the details. But my plea simply now is to step up the pace and let's get going. Thank you.
So guys, I hope you have watched that video from the Prime Minister of Barbados, Mottley. It is not my first time or second time bringing this powerful speech from the Prime Minister of Barbados, Mottley, simply because I really love how she is straight to her point, and also she always fights the rights of the black people in the Caribbean. Not only the black people in the Caribbean, also she always fight for the rights of the African people, telling the African people to come together and unite. So Mottley, she was delivering a very powerful speech during climate change summit, and also she came out and tell the West people that you guys, you cannot continue controlling us anymore. African or the black countries, they cannot continue become your puppet. We know what these people, they really want to some of our black country, to some of the African country. These people, they always want to be on top of the black countries, African country. They will go ahead and turn some of the leaders to be puppet, and that's why Mottley, she's coming out and telling them that we cannot continue being your puppet. Yeah, she's saying that you cannot summon us all. This means that you cannot summon all black country, because these people, they always want black country because they know black countries, they have everything. And I told you that these people, they always depend in black country. Yeah, look what it is happening in Africa. These people, they are plundering Africa. They are taking our resources from here in Africa. Look what it is happening in some countries in the Caribbean. These people, they are still taking some treasures thing in the Caribbean. They are still oppressing some of the black countries in the Caribbean. Look what it is happening in Haiti. These people, they are the ones who brought this whole fight which it is happening in Haiti. They were turning the Asian leaders to be a puppet. They were turning our Asian leaders to be a sellout leader. And that's why the Asian people, they decided to come out on the street to fight back their rights, because the Western people, they were plundering their country. They were destabilizing their country. And that's why I really love Mottley, because she's that one leader who she will always fight for the Caribbean country. And also she's calling all the Caribbean country, all the African country to unite, because revolution, it has started. Now the fear, it is gone to our African and Caribbean leaders. The fear, it is gone. We cannot continue being the puppet. Yeah, we need to stand, we need to work in our country. I came out and tell you that we as African country, we can do it without depending to this other, to the Western country. Yeah, we can still do it without having a help from this Western country. And that's why Mottley, she's coming out and telling the Western countries that you guys leave us alone. We need to work in our country. We black people, we have helped them to build their country. The black Americans, the black people who they were taken here during slavery, they have helped them to build their countries. Now it is now the right time for them to leave our country. We are not slaves anymore. They need to leave. You can see these people, they don't want to leave our country. I came out and tell you that these people, they are having their military bases in some of the African country. Like here in Africa, they have their military bases here in Africa. In some countries in the Caribbean, they have their military bases there. Why are they having their military bases here in Africa? And yet, the African, they don't have their military bases in their own country. What are they protecting here in Africa? Are they protecting us black people, or are they protecting what we have here in Africa with their military bases here? It is now the right time for their military bases to pack their thing and go. We need to own our countries. We need to own our black countries fully. And that's why I keep on telling you that these people, what they want, it is to always be on top of the black people, so that they can control us, so that they can take us our minerals, so that they can tell us what to do. That's what they really want. Sorry. So Mia Mottley, I really love how she always shut down the Western countries. She always shut them up, telling them that we cannot do how you guys want. We are doing how we want. You cannot control us anymore. Because Mia Mottley, she was speaking during a climate change, and she was telling these people, why is it always when we have problem, you are coming with the loans, you are coming to help us, you are coming with the charity? Why is it? And yet you want to show the world how we are black countries, how we are poor. You are coming with charity, you are funding us, you are giving us loan money, so that you can show the world that we have helped this black country, we are on top of them. This is how these people they want. So it is now the right time to us black people, to us black leaders, to work in our country, to develop our country. So kindly guys, I don't want to talk too much. Subscribe if you haven't, like this video, share, and also comment. See you on my next one. Bye bye.